I meet a lot of really good players in ranked, and LH Cloudy is one of them.
Oh, Geomedic is on Doomfist. Respect. Respect. Nice guy. Geomedic has become a nicer guy. What?
He's one of the best Rhines in the world, and in EU, he might just be number 1. This Finnish force of nature plays an unholy amount of rank. Most games that I play against them are pretty sweaty. Cloudy is definitely a Reinhardt specialist. In contrast to me, I try to keep as many tanks as possible polished and ready at my disposal. But if I were to have a preference, it would definitely be tanks that have a strong, healthy poke phase where you can poke and prod and do damage, and then commit for one big engage. And Doomfist, as a tank, fits that role perfectly. He also happens to be a really good hero on Esperanza, so I play him there a lot. Tons of walls to punch people into, and lots of corners to play around. If you're looking for more videos, guides, and VOD reviews like this, try using the link below to get a GameLeap subscription. Guides, VOD reviews, walkthroughs, lessons, it's all there to help you excel at any character and at any style of play. There's already a massive library of resources there with many more to come, so check it out. Now let's get right into the gameplay, starting at the beginning. Both of these comps are pretty good, but my DPS are more well-rounded. My Tracer can follow up on my dives, and my Bastion lays down crazy damage and often can get people low enough for me to finish off. Because of the Ana and the Cass, I have to play safe out of their LOS so I don't get punished for being too aggressive. But that's fine by me. My ability allows me to switch positions really easily anyway. I'm okay with playing slow because my backline is really spammy. With Baptiste and Lilia... I've been reading these comments. So for everyone complaining, we're going to compromise by calling her Larry from now on. Wholesome family name, and of course it doesn't bother by trying to speak Spanish correctly. No one really cares anyway. Anyway, I basically don't have to sweat super hard to keep going in beat after beat. I can just let my Larry work and poke and play for her as well. Cloudy and I meet each other at the bot really early in the game. I'm there a bit faster, but since we're both here first, there's not much to do. I don't want to fight him, he wants to consolidate space on the bot, so I let him. I don't need to be in a swing range this early, I'm just chilling and seeing what their team has to offer. And here's where the strategies start to unfold. Cloudy takes a massive amount of space by pinning all the way to my stairs. I punch him down to keep him at bay, and my Bastion also uses his turret form, but that's totally fine with Cloudy. This amount of space taking this fast forces a lot of reactions, which is good for him if he's ready for it, and he is. He heads back under the bridge to wait for the next cooldown. This position under the bridge at this early point in the game is actually really good. If we try to push it from the front, we're in line of sight of his backline. And if we push it from the back, we're giving up a lot of space. We have to drop off the high ground basically. So it's really strong and we can't really push it effectively. Personally, I still have to fight it. I'm a tank after all, and I'm curious to see, because the Lucio is with him, what they're going to do to escape the position. And sure enough, after Cloudy escapes, the Lucio isn't fast enough. So I catch him with my slam and my punch, slowing him down for my Larry to pick up the kill. It's a really good start, a really strong pick, but I need to measure my aggression. Going too fast means I might get punished by the cooldowns they still have, and going too slow might mean they recover long enough to get a good fight. So I play just like I usually do, poke and prod. A punch on the Cloudy, a slam onto the backline. Eventually, the damage accumulates and starts becoming really devastating. And with a Tracer to clean up the kills, they fall fast. As my Tracer and I are committing hard onto the backline, Cloudy just looks for a lucky pin kill, and then some damage on my backline to build his ultimate. And he actually gets quite a lot of damage, so I'm staying aware that he's going to get his shatter a little bit earlier than usual. Reinhardts just don't build ult charge like they used to. It's a rough world out there. I don't necessarily need to ego and control him when he has his ultimate, trying to stun it and cancel it, but it's important that I know when he has it so I personally don't get caught off guard. Moving on to the next fight, this is a position you're going to want to start in no matter what tank you're playing in. This red mailbox trash can, I don't even know what this thing is, but regardless, fire hydrant. Anyway, it's an amazing position. It blocks LOS from both the windows and the choke and allows you to control both whenever you want. It's really hard to push this location because your backline is usually on the high ground behind you. In my case, my Bap and Larry have got me covered. Now look at this. Cloudy doesn't even try to challenge me for this position. Not only has the cart not moved very far, but he wants to get onto the high ground and deal with my backline instead of me. But by doing this, he allows me to get onto his backline, namely his Ana. I've already built my ultimate super fast. Doom is pretty good at doing that. So if I just punch, ult into punch on the Ana, there's little she can do, and she gets pushed into my team, even if I manage not to put the ultimate perfectly on the corner. This entire time, Cloudy was trying to trade my backline, but all he can do is use his pin again to force my Bastion's form. But because I'm already in the backline, he comes back to a dead Ana. Cloudy deciding to bait cooldowns and, try different things out, but still playing slow and reserved is a good strategy. But when I'm going in lightning fast, it's not going to be very effective. Now that the point is unlocked, and I'm waiting 8 seconds for the robot to start moving again, I'm checking out the side space, the flank routes. And I find a soldier and Ana, but it's a bit too much to bargain for. I can't charge the punch onto them because the Ana's gonna sleep me, so I have to leave. But because I wasted these crucial engagement cooldowns, Cloudy and the soldier pounce. There's a visor behind me, Ryan and Lucy are coming from the front. All I can do is play catch up because I messed up that engage. Despite dying late, my Tracer and I still get good spawns, thanks to a little bit of good stalling. Now Esperanza is obviously a push map, which means there's a lot of snowball potential and a lot of really unfair games. Many long, sad, drawn-out defeats happen on push maps. And Esperanza specifically has some really oppressive map geometry. Just look at this high ground. It's pretty crazy, the LOS it has on point. So most people try to fight for it by going behind and up the stairs. But personally, I know that Cloudy isn't going to let it go so easily. So I find it better to play split angles and force the point, trying to split their team up and get isolated targets. I'm still waiting for the card to get in a good position to stop it, so I'm fighting the Tracer a little bit. Poke, poke, poke. It's not much damage, but it accumulates, like before. And I try to go for a punish on the escape, but unfortunately, I end up getting punished myself. Using my block before the Tracer goes for pulse bomb is really bad late game. The changes to Doomfist's block has gone from being really bad against stuck abilities to really good against stuck abilities. So against Echo and Tracer, I try to hold on to it when I'm dueling them, and use it reactively for when they go for their abilities on me. And while I'm getting pulse bombed, my team is also getting pretty hammered at the top of the choke. But my Bastion gets a really nice pick on the Ana, which is going to make the next fight so much easier. This is why I rush to it as soon as I can, and pressure Cloudy on the point. All the Reinhardt fans watching are about to cringe pretty hard. My Tracer looks for a pulse bomb on Cloudy, because he's being so aggressive without his Ana there, and it sticks to the back of his shield. And now Cloudy tries to put the pulse bomb into the wall with his shield, a really nice trick all Reinhardt players should know, but barely misses. He doesn't put it deep enough, and the LOS of the pulse bomb is directly to his body right at the time of detonation, breaking his shield and his armor and leaving him free for the Bastion to finish him off. It's really unfortunate, but it happens. On to the next fight. Now that Cloudy's finally built Shatter, I'm actually also coming up on my second Meteor Strike, but this is only natural. I'm not going too crazy on it. Well, maybe just a little bit. Now Cloudy's team decides to stack with him and take the high ground. They have some more ults now, so they can go for a more aggressive fight and work together to make their ults work better. But this leaves them super vulnerable to my cleave damage. I go in and use that ultimate as fast as possible. Slam, punch, ult, punch, going crazy on the backline, and Cloudy has to try to go for a shatter on mine. But unfortunately, my BAP is a slippery man. Let's look back at my ultimate. The Doomfist Meteor Strike slows people up on landing. And usually, Doomfist is pretty vulnerable when he lands, so he has to kind of not fight in the area anyway. But because my Tracer's in the area, the soldier gets super low from being slowed and being clipped by the Tracer, so my slam easily finishes him off. And then, it's all about surviving. This fight has already gone super well, so I'm just making sure I don't int by going too far and too hard. We're back into snowball mode again. I also get to pull off a real nice little trick here. My Bastion is really aggressive and takes a bit too much damage, so I jump in front of him with my punch and block to make sure he doesn't die. And then my team uses Window to keep the fight rolling. This Window doesn't actually kill anyone directly, but it splits their team really well. Cloudy's with his Lucio in the right side bottom room, but the BAP hasn't rotated with them yet, and he gets anxious. A big mistake. He tries to throw his lamp down, he tries to get into the room. It's a total mess, so I easily pick him off with the help of my team. And Cloudy is forced to make a split-second decision. We need to use beat. It's the decision Cloudy has to make. It's not the best, but it's what he has to do with the situation. But I quickly follow up and chase him after his pin. Without a pin, he can't stop my punch, so I charge it up at a medium level and keep fighting him. Right now, I'm just focused on stopping him from doing anything to my team, since we've already won the fight because the BAP is dead. I even pre-fire the corner when I drop away from him. I'm sweating so hard to get damage on this guy. I am just fiending for this MTD. After I knock him out, he's forced to match me in the Doomfist. It's been going pretty well for me, of course. But Cloudy's Doom actually gets off to a pretty good start. After I go for my ultimate engage, throwing some punches and slams into place, I notice that he gets really low. I try to go for the punch into the wall, but it's simply too far. The knockback resistance on tanks makes it a lot harder to knock him into walls. Cloudy goes for a punch on me, but misses. But I return the favor and miss on him as well, totally negating all the good stuff I've been doing in this fight up until now. Cloudy gets so pumped, ready to start diffing me in the Doom mirror, but there's nothing but pain coming from him. When I get back to the Mega, I realize the fight isn't completely super one-sided, so I stay around the area, trying to look for some picks. And the Tracer indulges me in a nice little duel. I like dueling Tracers. A good Tracer can do a lot of damage to Doomfist with his hitbox, of course, but Doom has a lot of speed himself. So the Tracer needs to be really good and stay on our toes to dodge my punches and my slams. Otherwise, I'm going to start accumulating damage as I always do. After entertaining the Tracer a little bit, it's time to push high ground. Now that Cloudy's not on Rein, I'm much more comfortable helping my team get out of the choke. Cloudy's still there to meet me, but this time I've got the drop on him. My primal instincts kick in, slam from behind, punch into my team. And it's a micro punch as well. I don't hold the button in at all. Just one click, and this means that Cloudy can't countercharge me or punch me before I punch him. He has to use his ultimate to survive. And it would have been a perfect outplay if not for my Bastion waddling out of the choke while the ultimate was still active. Cloudy lands on him and blows him up. But now, my team decides to use window to take more space. And I'm playing more passive. Usually you want to push with your window, but I know that Cloudy wants to go in and fight my backline, so I lie in wait and set the trap. And sure enough, he falls for it. Another quick punch, and he's down and out. Now that I'm pushing the point, I find out that they've gone Sombra, the hard way, by getting hacked. And unfortunately, the hack lasts a long time. Because I don't properly force her out, after I try to go back to the point, she beams me really fast, which I wasn't expecting, and I fumble and die a little late. Lucky enough, because I die late, Cloudy, when he comes back to the fight, gets more aggressive than he normally would. He knows I'm not in the fight, so he goes for a little soft dive on the top right, but unfortunately gets punished just like I did. A pulse bomb to the face, and his block isn't there to save him. Now that I'm back in the fight, I'm looking for stragglers, and the Tracer is on my menu. I chase her into the corner and hit 3 out of 3 shotgun blasts to finish her off, and cancel her pulse bomb. When she's in the corner like this, as long as I keep my aim steady, I'm not gonna miss. Especially not since I'm having a pretty good day today. Now, we already have a massive 50-meter advantage, so pushing further is actually a bit more difficult. This barrier, when it's at this position, makes it really hard to push it around the corner. You can see Cloudy's just sitting on it, not allowing me to move it any further. But eventually, he has to fall back, and we start pushing around the corner. You can even see the immense mental strain that's taking a toll on Cloudy's mind. He has to go AFK for a couple seconds to chill out. Now that I'm firmly in the front line, I'm just waiting for a trigger, a reason to go in, since I don't need to use ults aggressively into their team. They're the ones who have to stop me from moving the cart. And sure enough, the BAP uses window, and that's my trigger. I jump in with a slam and a punch, following up with my meteor strike, as is usual for this combo. Now, I animation cancel my slam into my punch to get some really quick damage and finish him off with a nice flick into the high heavens. As soon as I get the final shot on the BAP, I immediately block, and the rest of the damage coming from the team trying to stop me from killing him is able to help me escape. And now, I'm just fishing for some more picks, going for punches, going for aggressive moves, and even though I miss my punch, I'm still playing to get behind them. And sitting behind that room outside of LOS means they have to choose to go for me or go for my backline. And Cloudy and his Lucio decide to go for me. Because I have some time alone to wait for my cooldowns to come back, when Cloudy comes back, he goes for a punch, but I don't use my block yet. Using my block to buy a little more time, I make a quick escape. I don't even need the Mega to heal me up. After my initial pick on the BAP, I don't even have to keep going. So jerking their divers around in their own backline is a great way of allowing my backline to walk forward. So while I'm running circles around Cloudy and his Lucio, my Larry finds a nice pick. On top of that, their Sombra goes for an EMP, but there's no follow-up since everyone's looking at me. I look to put some pressure on Cloudy, but I quickly realize my team doesn't need me to kill him. So I go back to the front line and find that the BAP has returned for another beating. I pick a fight with him, but I'm not expecting to win just yet because he still has his lamp up. But when his lamp comes up, I go for a block to build my power punch. And they actually give it to me, which means I can hit a punch on an unsuspecting Tracer. She gets crunched. I'm so deep in the zone, I wouldn't even know if we were winning or losing, but I'm still getting as many picks as I can. I lock onto the BAP for a dink and start to fight him as soon as I'm done with the Tracer. Spray transfers like this is something you've seen in CS, but I like to apply it to my Doomfist gameplay. I switch onto the Sombra, who's placed their translocator way too close to the fight, and it's all but over now. Now that it's the final fight, my team is using ultimates early, and I also want to push early, fighting Cloudy, who's trying to push close to the right side. His ultimate is instantly forced, and he goes for a kill on my BAP, but unfortunately hits the rooftop instead. It happens. It's a bit hard to aim this thing. That's how it's like to play against the best Rein in EU, forcing him over to the side of the Doomfist. Remember to use the link in the description to get more videos and guides about all sorts of things, including VOD reviews like this. And see you next time.